Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Radical Love with Ains and Lex.
I'm Ains.
And I'm Lex. And today, we're going to be talking about friendships and keeping faith in those friendships. Sorry, Ains. It's so different with me doing the intro again.
I like it. If people weren't watching, they wouldn't even notice.
That's true.
Perks of watching, guys, you kind of know what's going on.
Yeah, you can see our facial expressions and all the things.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
It's on YouTube, by the way. Go on our Instagram first at Radical Love Podcast and then go to YouTube.
From the link. We have it all set up.
Oh, yes.
But to begin, Rosebud Thorn, Lex, do you want to start us off?
I will. I won't forget about it this week. Oh my gosh. Okay, so my rose, something good from this week. Oh my word. It's only been a few days of this week. But I guess since last podcast, I did my little like wine night Galentine's Day. Yes, it was so fun and so sweet. Just like chill time with the friends. So that was really awesome. I didn't have too stressful of a weekend, which is also always good. Oh my gosh, y'all, I got my accounting test back. I don't even think I talked about my accounting test, but I got a freaking 100. I don't even know how I did it. So just very proud of myself for that. And then also they've been filming a movie literally a block away from my apartment. So I feel so cool. Like that's just so dope. Yeah.
So have you been in the background of anything? Like an extra?
No, I was not an extra, except for the fact that I was walking home from work last night and like I was walking home at like 9:30 and they were still filming. Like, it was like a night scene. I think it was supposed to be like it was like raining. There was like a horse and carriage. It was so cool. But so I literally walked behind. I don't really know. I don't know what the movie's about, but I like walked behind all the production people. Like literally like the cameras, like I'm surprised like I was even like allowed to walk there. And then I like crossed the road and then I stood there and like FaceTimed AJ and was like, AJ, you need to look at this. So the only way I'd be an extra is if somehow, you know, they panned to me as I was walking across the street.
They probably did. Crossing the street. That is a really cinematic moment.
Right? And then my thorn, just again, hectic few days. And then I walked into my math class yesterday and one of my friends was like, oh, I can't even believe like I haven't even started studying for a quiz tomorrow. And I was like, what? We have a quiz tomorrow? Just totally forgot about it. So it's okay. And then my bud is that tomorrow I'm leaving to go to Florida with my fam. Gonna watch AJ play tennis. He's been absolutely killing it. He got player of the week. Yes. And then my great uncles, my great aunts, you know, they're going to be down there too. So just good family time, a mini Christmas because it's like some of the people that go with us for Christmas.
That is so exciting. Huge congrats to AJ to begin with. And also, you've been talking about this for so long that you're probably like so stoked.
It's literally like finally
happy.
Yeah. What about you? How's the week been?
Yes. My rose was definitely my weekend. It was such a nice time. It was like really fun, very full. Food, guys. So normally, you know how it be eating from the dining halls, food like not always dependable. What you're eating, like the quality, if you like it. But it was so good. Like catered like every meal when I was on the little retreat, and then Saturday night when I was, hanging out in Sears Tower.
What?
The food was good there, and they had these little hors d'oeuvres, and they were very good. And there was one that was little like bao buns with like pork. It was like very fatty, and it was like so good. And the food we got on the retreat was so good. And I got to take some home. So I brought like 5 wraps home because they just had so much left over. So I've been eating those. It's just been so nice.
Good.
So nice. So that was cool indeed. Yeah, the whole weekend, very full, fulfilling, fun. A lot of F adjectives I
That
just
was
used,
so good.
but like just honestly, like a really great time. And
Mhm.
then Thorn, oh, no sleep
Mhm.
at all. So like over the weekend, I got like 4 hours of sleep one night, 5 hours the next. So then Sunday, I took a 3 hour nap, did some
Ayy.
homework, and slept for 9 hours. That's 12 hours. And then I'm still like tired just because during the week don't get 8 hours. I'd say I'm
Mhm.
normally cruising around like 7, 7.5, which is still good, but just like tired being like nonstop for so
Mhm.
long because normally I have like the weekend to decompress. And for those of you watching, I'm really struggling on how to position my computer and my microphone right now because there's like a lot of stuff on my desk. So that's another thing. But
I
that's
feel
just,
that.
once again, the extra insight you get if you watch, which you should. And
True, you're gonna
then
get the sun setting also for both of
oh
us,
yes. Yeah.
but not in a good way.
The natural lighting in my room is non-existent actually. It's like a dark hole. However, I love my cove, even though it's like actually I'm gonna turn off my light really fast just to show you guys. It's
Oh my
literally it's
lord.
light out, and that's how dark it is in here if I don't have my little light on my desk on. It's horrifying. But other than that, my bud tonight I have inner hall bowling.
What? So
So
fun.
that'll be really cool. And then this weekend, I'm going to Chicago to see David, and I'm so excited. I feel so mature. We're going to a nice dinner on Saturday, and I bought
Oh,
like a new dress for it.
stop. That's
And
so
I'm like, I
fresh.
feel very womanly and
Yeah.
mature. And I'm like, I'll have to check into the hotel and like do all these fancy things. And I'm like,
Oh,
I feel so old. So yeah, it's
I'm
kind of
here for
fun.
it.
Hmm. Yes, yes. And Valentine's Day was fun. I know we talked about that in the
So
last episode, so
good.
I wanted to mention it. I wanted to mention it. I had many Valentines. My dad called me and he said, "You're my
Aw,
Valentine, right?" And I was like, "Duh, my boy Denny, Avi."
yes.
And my cousin Jordan, her super sweet baby, Finley. I asked first if I could be Finley's Valentine, and
Oh,
mother said yes. And then David was my Valentine too. But honestly, I really liked Valentine's Day this year. Like
good.
everyone was really nice and saying happy Valentine's Day and was super friendly, and it was like really cute. All the
That's
things.
really
The
sweet.
dining hall, they had little cookies. It was nice.
Oh, that is really cute.
Yeah.
I was my roommate and I, Molly, we've been joking around about like you haven't asked me if you're a Valentine yet today. And then our apartment had like some roses and like chocolates and candy and stuff. So I randomly ran down there and I wrote her a note and it was so funny. She was like, "Is this for real?" And I was like, "Yes, that's why I went down there."
Obvi, it's for real. You should have said it was from like a secret admirer and
That would
had
have been
someone else
funny.
write it and then be like, oh my God, who could it be? And then do a
But like
whole
we were just studying and I was like, I have to go downstairs. So it would have been like way too
sauce.
obvious.
Sauce.
Yeah. But Ains, now for the topic of the day, friendships. I
Yes.
guess we've done an episode on friendships.
Yes.
This one's going to be a little different, but like, I guess just a little intro. Like, how are things going now at school? Like, second year, back on campus, classes are in person. How is it?
So far the second year has been like tremendously better than the first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think like I don't know how classes are for y'all, but for us, we always had classes in person even
Oh,
last
right.
year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we had to wear masks, and not having to wear a mask, I think really does change just kind of like the friendliness of an
Agree.
interaction, and it just feels a lot more open and less closed off for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's just been really nice this year not having to wear masks. Like we're really, really lucky for that. And being able to like go to things is really nice. Like
Mm-hmm.
having the choice of am I going to go out or stay in, and me going out doesn't entail like having a panic attack like at a bar. Like that's really nice. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really fun. Like actually having a choice and not feeling like it's your only option. Um, I've definitely come a long way in terms of feeling like I need a friend group. Honestly, it's not even like a concern for me anymore. I'm just trying to like, oh, I have a group and we talk in this class and sometimes we get meals beforehand and then I have these people I talk to or this person and that person. And I don't know, it's really nice having friends in all different places.
Yeah.
Obviously, like with the dances, that's kind of nice, like having a
Oh
friend group.
yeah.
And it's like I only would have that dance to go to, but having like a lot of different friends and a lot of different places helps me be able to like hang out with them and have different special interactions with a lot of different people.
Mhm.
Overall, it's just going so much better. I think a lot of it also has to do with like I'm learning more about myself, what I
Mhm.
need and what I'm good at and what I like am not so good at in relationships and trying to like grow. So yeah, overall, my friendships are going a lot better and they're definitely like deeper and more honest. And
Good.
overall, just like this year's so much better than last year. It's like not even
Retweet.
funny.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And like the different friendships in different places. I kind of forgotten like that's how I was in high school. And then someone pointed it out the other day, like, yeah, you're not in Greek life, but it also means that you have friends from all these different places. And I was like, wait, you're right. Cause sometimes I do feel secluded
Mhm.
because everyone's like, oh, I have this, Phi Mu event to go to, or this like 80 Pi event to go to. And I'm like, awkward. I can't go to those. But now I've been seeing like my friends randomly like go from class to class, and hanging out with them. So that's been good. But yeah, like you said, not having to wear a mask in class. Well, because I wasn't in person totally really at all last year. And now Georgia Tech, we don't have to wear a mask. Um, and like you said, like it is so much different and
Yes.
so much better. And like the classes where, okay, I don't know why this is the way it is at Georgia Tech, but the people in the business school, we don't really wear masks. And that's just like how it is. I don't
That's
know.
so
Like,
stereotypical.
is that stereotypical? That's just like how it is. Whereas everywhere
Business
else,
kids not wearing a mask. That's definition of stereotypical. It's okay. All my theology classes, even when mask rules were like totally in place, like people wouldn't even have one like on their person. I was like, how do you get away with it?
yeah.
Like you don't even come strapped for it.
Well, like all my roommates, because I would say like if everyone else was, because especially because I just had COVID too, so like if I
Mm.
don't have to wear a mask, I'm not gonna wear a mask.
Yeah, and I think that's totally reasonable. I'm only
Right.
doing it if I have to. That's how I am with it.
Right. And so my roommates were like, well, most of the people like in my classes, like I do it because like everyone else is doing it. And I was like, oh wait, I am at the business school. I guess no one else is doing it.
Yeah, so is it like required or suggested, or do all these people just do it because they want to?
At Georgia Tech, because we're a public school and the state doesn't require it for schools, Georgia Tech can't require it technically.
Oh, cool. That's
Mhm.
kind of surprising then that so many people.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we definitely don't. Like no one
I'm
the second the
right.
mask rules were lifted, it was like no one wears them at all.
Yeah. They do in a lot of the other classes. A lot of my classes right now also, I don't think I'd be subjectively graded. So I don't do it. Again, I also just had COVID, so I ain't spreading it.
And it's valid. Like I don't know, masks aren't fun. Like the things you have to do for COVID
No,
aren't like what for a lot of people you want to be doing. So if you don't
no.
have to, at that point it's kind of up to you whether or not
Yeah,
you want to.
you're right. You're right.
But other than
I got us
masks,
sidetracked.
what sidetracked? We never do that. Who is she? I've never heard of her.
I know, but no, I've just been trying to really press into my relationships on campus and really like reach out to people. And one of my good friends were in some classes together. She's a Phi Mu now. She was not when I was there. We're the same grade, but she'd transferred. And we have accounting together again this semester. And recently we've just like both happened to be going to the library to do some studying after. So we've just like gone together and like hung out. And the other day I texted her and I was like, I'm gonna go do some studying at Starbucks if you want to come. And she was like, I just want to chill in my bed, but like next time. But then the text that like made my whole weekend, she was like, can we hang out like outside of class? Just like, and I
Aw,
was like,
yes.
yes.
Love that.
Yeah. So things are going well. Moral of the story. I have friends.
Yeah, mom, I have friends. That was like something my parents, like my whole family would get so on to me. I'd be like, I have no friends last year. And they'd be like, yes, you do. Rah, rah, rah. You have all these people. And I was like, no, I feel like I'm just really lacking. Like you're just, it's hard when you go to school because you feel so lonely that it's like really easy to discredit the friendships you have, especially because a lot of them initially are kind of surface level.
Right.
But I'm not even at that place anymore where I say I don't have friends. Like,
Right.
I know I have friends.
Right. And I think, I guess
yeah.
it does tie in with today's episode. Like, we definitely had friends last year, but now it's like the deeper connections are forming, which makes them start to feel like those real, true friendships.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think going like deeper with your friendships, especially in regards to faith, in regards to, is it regard or regards? Anyways, it
I
doesn't
don't know
matter.
grammar.
Y'all know what I mean. I think it can be kind of a scary step. Like your friend was probably maybe not, depending on how your interactions have been, might have been a little nervous, being like,
Yeah.
you want to hang out outside of this, which obviously that's not like that big of a deal. But it can be scary to like move a relationship beyond what it was originally. Like I don't know, this is kind of weird. A lot of people like, like friendly, like from a friendly way, like slide into my DMs and like want to be
Oh,
friends. And they're like, oh my gosh, I think your podcast is so cool. Like I get
that's
these
so
messages, like
cute.
not, I guess it doesn't happen as much anymore, but it like happened last year. And I remember one of my good friends now, he did that and was like, oh, your podcast is so cool. And we became friends. We like DM and we're just like talking, became friendly, whatever. But then we met once for like a meal and it was like low-key so awkward and
Oh,
horrible. We're friends now, so it's really funny to look back on. But like taking that step from like digital to in person or like class friends to real friends
yeah.
or acquaintances to deep friends, like that can be scary. But I
Mhm.
think it's like really like rewarding too, taking that leap. And obviously normally I think with these things it goes well, like trying to be friendly I think is normally a good thing. But yeah, I don't know, I think sometimes it's easy to like discredit people and be like,
Mhm.
oh, like I'm not gonna ask them to like we have the grotto on campus where you can like light candles and like pray and stuff and it's really beautiful, but like sometimes it can be like, oh, like am I going to invite this person to go to the grotto or is that not like something they're into?
Mm.
But I think most people, like everyone has feelings, everyone has things they go through, like everyone has thoughts. And just because like maybe someone isn't as like isn't openly religious or doesn't talk about deep topics a lot doesn't mean that they don't want to do that stuff, and they don't want to like pursue a more like serious or deeper relationship.
Mhm.
Granted, they may not want to go to the grotto, but I think it's easy to be like, oh, like that's like my fun friend. They might not want to do that. But
Yeah.
I don't like it's easy to not like sell people short before you give them an opportunity to like show who they are. Kind of reminded me, you gave an example like a long time ago of how you saw these frat guys at church once and you're like,
Yeah.
I would never expect to see you here. And it's exactly like that. Like it's definitely scary to take that step and like ask people to go to church with you. Or a
Mhm.
big thing for me, I love going to Stations of the Cross on Fridays during Lent. And it's at
Oh.
like 7 p.m. So I'll invite people like do dinner and then go to Stations. And one of my great friends now, like that's how we first became friends, is I invited him to Stations of the Cross. And
That's
so
so sweet.
like we would hang out on like Friday and just chat and it wasn't like a thing, but it was
Mhm.
really nice. I don't know. That was kind of a
Yeah.
long thing, but like don't sell people short and like it's
Most
scary,
definitely.
but I'm definitely in a lucky environment with like half the people I talk to are like theology majors, so obviously it's something very important to them and like all of
Mm.
that, and at a Catholic university to begin with. But I think it's really rewarding to like try to take a deeper step and like talk about more, I don't know, I don't want to use the word deep again, but like deep topics and faith.
No.
I think it's
I feel like
cool.
deep encompasses it. It really does. No, it does. No, when I was writing out the notes, I was also like, yeah, I'm saying the same words over and over again. But no, like you said, like funny that you brought that story up because those frat guys still to this day, we probably go to church together 2 or 3 times a month.
Oh,
And it's crazy. It's a big group of us girls and guys. And again, it is except for honestly, I might be the only one who's not in Greek life out of all of them. um, so that's just really sweet. And yeah, I did sell them out at first, and I was like, what? They're coming with us? Like they were just out last night. But no, like it is so, so, so true. And just with that, I guess since I do go to a more secular school than Notre Dame. There's no doubt about that.
Most of them are.
But like you said, Ains, like there are so many people around me who may not have the same faith as me, but like you said, like 99% of the people in this world, 99.99% of the people in this world want to be good people and want to be doing something good. So whether or not they believe in the same exact things as me, whether or not, they're Christian or Hindu, like literally any religion, like people are striving to be better people. So whether or not you can relate, like, oh, we believe in the exact same everything to a T from the Bible or not, like you still have those really good conversations that you can have, and you can talk to each other, you can learn from each other, like listen, grow, all of those things. And like that is also really good. Like my best friend here, Kat, like we are both Christian. I am still Catholic. And we still to this day, like almost every time that we go to church together and leave, like we both have these conversations about like, she's like, Lexi, I still don't understand where Catholics stand on certain things. And like, I'll explain it to her and then she'll explain her side of like, well, this is what I grew up and like, this is what I read in scripture and this is why I believe this. And like, we both are 100% wholeheartedly like pursuing Jesus and doing all the things, and we believe all the things we do because of like our faith foundation. And so like we're able to learn from each other and grow from each other. And truthfully, she is like one of the most faithful people I know, and I know that she respects me so much for my faith, and like we have so many really good conversations. And it's just crazy how like some of the big things that we don't agree on, and like that is okay. And like faith is like one of our biggest connections. So it's just like mind blowing.
That was really sweet. That's all. Really cute. Yeah. I think that's huge. Like snaps to everything you just said about like not having to like agree with people. Because especially too, if it's like someone who can be a real true friend to you, faith is obviously core to who we are. Even if you're not like a super practicing Catholic, like you only go to mass sometimes, like the way if you grew up with these values, like that's a core part of who you are, or what you believe is right and wrong and whatnot. No matter if you like disagree with a lot of it, it's kind of the foundation, like you said, your faith foundation. And if someone's not gonna like respect that aspect of you, or like appreciate how it makes you the person you are in the many different ways it does, then that's probably not like a good person anyways to be in your life. So even if they disagree, like I feel like most people still respect it and will be like, oh yeah, like that's really cool. People that do these things are very loving, and yeah, like you said, most people want to be good, or so I like to think. So
I know. No, me too. But even like we're at that place too, Ains, where like I was telling my aunt this the other day. I was like, yeah, like with Kat. Sorry, Kat, I'm calling you out. I was like, we were able to talk about these things and like I'll say them, and I know she's not going to take them the wrong way. And if we have a disagreement about faith, like it's not going to interfere with our relationship at all.
yeah.
And like that's the same way with us. Like we can tell each other it's straight, and like we're not going to be like mad at each other, or like it's not going to ruin anything because like we have that deep connection.
Yeah. I think honestly it's huge. And like I was saying earlier, like faith isn't the only thing that can take a relationship deeper. Like talk about your feelings, talk about something you struggled with. The amount of times, honestly, body image struggles have been like my gateway to like a relationship with someone, honestly, is very telling of our society. And it's bad. However, that's like this sounds really bad. Like capitalize on things people struggle with. That's not what I mean. That was sarcastic. But anyways, like really like openly talking about things is very scary. A lot of the things I feel like we talk about on this podcast are very scary to talk to people about, but it really does make a relationship a lot stronger. And I've realized the friendships I have where we talk about these things and where I'm open about my faith and my struggles, those are by far going to be the closest relationships.
No, yeah, I agree. Because I have my school friends, and obviously I love my school friends, but if we're like in class, I'm not all of a sudden just gonna like, whip out some scripture quote or, start talking about my faith or be like, yeah, like, what are you struggling with today? Like
What if you did be like, other than the accounting test?
yeah. So like those things would not come up. But I still love those friendships. But like you said, like those are not gonna be the people who I'm calling on the phone when something's going wrong. They're not those super like rooted friendships, trying to bring out another word than deep. That I have. And like that's okay too, because it is sometimes just so fun to know people and see them be like, hey, what's up? Like from across campus. And like truthfully, that is okay. I know some Christians would probably be like, no, you need everyone in your life to, have this crazy connection with Jesus. And obviously, most like you can't surround yourself with people with bad influences because eventually it's going to overtake your life. But it is totally okay just to have those school friends and the people that pass you by every now and then. And like that is totally fine.
Yeah. I'm definitely with you. Sometimes it feels like it I'll see posts that are like, Christians, you're not gonna like reading this or hearing this or seeing this or whatever, but you need to be surrounding yourself like with Christians only, and are kind of a rhetoric that sounds like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of goes back to what we were saying. Like, I like to judge people based on like what I think their character is. And I have a lot of friends here, obviously, who are very religious. And then I have a lot of friends here who didn't even grow up religious, which is such like a thought to me, considering I've always gone to Catholic school. I'm like, wow,
people
imagine
think
not
I'm
having
crazy
religion.
here for going to Catholic school my whole life.
I'm
And I'm
like,
like, that was normal.
I'm like, literally imagine not going to Catholics. Like, I can't even imagine like going
Yeah.
to secular school, because I still don't. Like, I'm never gonna know. Anyways, but like those people are also can be very good. And I think it gets complicated. Like if we're talking like romantic relationships, well, then it's like a whole thing. Because if you think long term, then it's like, okay, if you possibly have kids, then what are you gonna, and blah blah. That's not what we're talking about here. We're just saying like your friends, they should just be like positive people who like push you to be a better person, and you do the same. And it's like fun and also deep, our favorite word, and all of the things.
Yeah, well, even like people that come across as super religious and maybe on the outside people would be like, yeah, you should be friends with them. You don't truly know what's going on in their heart. So like it's about who you want to surround yourself with, who makes you a better person. Like if you are in a friendship, in a relationship where someone is causing you to make bad decisions or, start to just become this person you don't want to be, like don't do that. But if a person has different beliefs than you, but you're becoming a good person and being kind and loving and like, and they have the same values, like they might not believe the same thing, but they have the same values, then like, yeah, be their friend.
We're here. It also kind of brings up like a more difficult topic on like difficult friendships and how to keep God at the center of friendships that are challenging. I know I have had and do have some friendships that are like very difficult for me to be a part of. People who just maybe like ask for too much, or they feel like they're just always like kind of bringing you down, but like you should be there for them. Honestly, like the biggest thing I've had to tell myself in this, especially with different things, like for example, you're reading the Gospels, it's very clear that if someone hurts you, like turn the other cheek, you apologize. Like if they apologize, you forgive them, forgive them, forgive them 77 times. Like to forgive and like put yourself vulnerably out of love in a position to be hurt. Which sounds kind of like cynical, but that is at least with the way I interpret these passages. It's like it's not my job to be cynical. It's my job to like love
100%.
always. And something I've really had to teach myself is that like boundaries are not anti-love. And sometimes people are very taxing. Sometimes you need a break. Sometimes they hurt you and you need time away to be able to like love them and still be a part of their life. And I think cutting people off is like very difficult. I'm not really
Mhm.
going to talk about that. But just like in general, I just think establishing boundaries or like not answering people's phone calls or taking a long time to respond to texts or not reaching out all the time and kind of like laying off for a week or two or longer. I think that's okay. And like do what you know you need to
Mhm.
like refresh because difficult friendships are really hard. And I personally cannot stand to be with people for a long amount of time. Like I 100% need my alone time at the end of the day. Like if I'm with someone, they drive me nuts.
Yeah.
And I wish that wasn't the case, but I'll just get like so angry by being with people all the time, like not having alone
Mhm.
time. So obviously it's a smart idea for me to be like, "Oh, actually, I don't want to hang out tonight. I'm going to watch a movie by myself." Like
That's good.
that is the best choice for me. I don't know.
No,
I think
I
that's
I
it.
agree. We had like just with people that I've been around and like different guys, coming into the picture with my friends. What you just said like really hits home because we've had times where I've said we've, some of my friends, like, things get complicated, things get tricky. And there's been times where I don't know, I'm trying to say this without like throwing people under the bus or saying names. But like one of my friends was waiting on a response from someone, and like normally she responds really quickly, and like she wasn't. And it was a sign of like everyone maturing because you know my friends and I, we all this realization like she probably just like needed time to think and not let her emotions control her response. And in high school, like we would have been like, why? Like we know she saw it. Like, why isn't she responding? But like,
Oh,
no, like,
that's huge.
right. Because when you respond, when you're like really upset, things get bad. And like you said, sometimes people just need space. Sometimes like you've had a day and you don't want to do it. You're not here for it. So I think that's really good. But also like being honest with people when you say those things, or like, listen,
Mhm.
like it's been a it's been a week. Like I just need a few days. Like we'll catch up again later. Like whatever. And
Mhm.
acknowledging without being mean if you get hurt, just being like, look, that upset me. I'm just gonna need a few days. Like you said, like that's fine.
Mhm. Honest communication, people. That's where it's at.
Woohoo.
Um, Also last night I was talking to a friend about this and she was like, "What do you think about praying for other people when your relationship with them is not going very well?" And I was like,
100% to that.
"Yeah, I was like, honestly, not very much like I don't know. I'm not sure if that's really like what I do, but I think it's huge because I did it once like recently. I just have a friend who I don't know, I think she might be just like overwhelmed just with things going on, but she's been like lashing out more at me recently and it's like really
Mm-hmm.
easy for me to get like why? Like dude,
Mm-hmm.
like lay off, let me be and get really angry because when someone hurts you that's it's the easiest emotion to handle.
Oh
Sadness,
yeah.
not so easy. Anger, love it. You know, you have a purpose, it's directed at someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's far easier for your little heart of hearts to understand than sorrow. But it's like really easy for me to just get upset. But like recently, I was really trying to take the focus off of me and just be like, okay, well, she's probably like going through some things.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost definitely that would explain why she is doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than like wanting like I don't know if you guys ever do this, but sometimes I'm like wanting her to do something again so that I can do something back. Like she says
Right.
that and I'm like, you
Or
need to
like
get
then you
over
have a reason
yourself.
to be
And like
angry.
then I have a reason to like blow up and like
Mm-hmm.
say it all to her at once.
Mm-hmm.
But that obviously is immature and bad. But
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like switching your mindset from like wanting that to instead like wanting like genuinely what's best for your friend. And I don't know. Honestly, I don't pray much for my friends, but I think going to later tonight and like really think
Mm-hmm.
about it and pray like it sounds kind of like preachy, but just like hoping that she like finds some peace so that she like won't treat me that way anymore. Um, and maybe even like talking to her once I'm perhaps a little bit more settled down, like you're saying, Lex, and being like, hey, these things were hurtful. How can I help you? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to support you and I want you to like support me too.
Mm-hmm.
Because people can hurt you.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
just said, I was like, oh, this sounds preachy, but like in that situation, like in the situations, I was just talking and I was like rude comments. It's like that definitely is something that is hurtful to me and I didn't like. And just in general, like not wanting to be with someone all the time doesn't mean you're like a bad person. Like setting boundaries is very important to
Mhm.
sustaining yourself. I don't know. Just in general, I think it's very difficult, but I'm going to start trying to pray more about
No,
people when it's
I-
difficult.
yeah, I really like that. When you wrote it down in your notes, it reminded me my mom had gotten me this notebook over Christmas, and on one side of it, it's on my nightstand, but you
Aw.
can't see it from here. One side of it, it said prayers for me, and then the other side says prayers for others, or like I'm praying for you or whatever. And so that's been a way for me, because before, like you said, I hadn't really thought to really pray about others versus like, please keep my family safe, yada yada yada. But now that like that is a place where it's like this is dedicated to prayers for others, it's really made me think like outside of the box and really recognize like everyone is going through something. And also like living with so many other people has really made me realize like so much goes on in people's lives, and like those are things that like the little moments we can pray for. And even if you don't know what to pray for about them, just be like, I'm praying for them. Like there's probably something's going on, so just
Mhm.
do it, because we all need the prayers.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's bringing back the Saint Joe norms. These literally rule my life. Assume
Mhm.
positive intent.
Yes.
Hopefully, like the people in your life, like they're not doing it out of malicious intent.
Mhm.
And if they are, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
But hopefully they're not.
Yeah, they're not vegan.
I don't
That's
want
when
that.
we reevaluate. That's a whole nother episode for when you have to figure out when to cut off a friendship, but that's for another episode.
That's for another day. Which day? You tell us. Next week, the week after, a million years from now, you tell us.
Whenever you want it to be, it'll be. Oh my gosh, too funny. Ains, do you have anything else for us for today?
Not really. Just everyone keep God at the center of your relationships, whether or not it's explicitly God or just, in your heart that it is God at the core. I think it's huge. And invite
Mhm.
people to do like deeper things.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll lead to a better relationship after. Like,
Yes.
I'm not gonna like 100% guarantee it, but like 99% it will be better.
Or get your money back.
Well, no one's coming after me. I don't have money to be sued. Okay.
Yeah. Also, you didn't pay for anything. Okay. We are a free platform.
Yes, we are. Trust me, they offered us to make you guys pay, and we said no.
Yeah. Also, it was mostly because we weren't sure anyone would. But that's
Also true.
Also, I feel like it's so rude. Who makes you buy a podcast?
I
That's
don't
like
know.
evil.
That is really, really evil. Well, thank you all for tuning in again. You can catch us here same time next week.
Every
It
week.
happens like clockwork.
Every week, 9 a.m. on Saturdays. Eastern. 9, 8 Central.
So good. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. We'll see you in the next one.